Hello everyone, thank you for tuning into our seller interview series. Up today, we've got a 2-site e-commerce business package for sale in the beauty and cosmetics niche. Created in September 2011, this business makes $7,502 per month in net profit, and the listing number for the site is 41039. We do these interviews to give potential buyers more information about both the seller and the sites they're looking to purchase. We hope these insights are helpful to you in making a buying decision. We've got the seller with us today to go through the business and cover everything from niche selection to traffic and monetization. Thanks for coming on, Sean. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Where are you coming in from today?
Houston, Texas.
Houston, Texas. Is it hot there? I myself am in Florida and it's, very warm today.
Very, very hot and humid.
Very hot and humid. It's humid here. I thought that part of the country was dry. So anyway, before we get into everything, I just want to give a quick summary about the business. It was built in September 2011 with a monthly revenue of $75,469, with expenses of $67,968 to make a net profit of $7,502, and that's on a 12-month average. Included in the sale of this business are 2 domains, site content, an email list of approximately more than 74,000 subscribers, and social media accounts, which include Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter. Now, Sean, could you give us a little bit about your background in building and running online businesses?
Actually, we had 0 when we started. Again, we were first and foremost started as a brick and mortar niche in the Houston market. Of course, I believe it was in late 2008 when business started to decline. We were then forced to look at selling online. Again, we had no experience doing this other than my wife was a graphic designer, but she left that field years ago previous to our current business. But before that, again, we had no experience. It was a fast learning curve that we had to go on.
So if you had no experience before, what were some of the ways that you learned everything you needed to learn?
Everything was by trial and error. And during the process, we did lose quite a bit of money initially starting up because, again, we've never done this before.
Mm-hmm. So talking about just the business, not necessarily the online component, how did you come up with the idea to start the business?
We first started with eBay before the actual website was created. As we started to list products, we noticed, we were getting sales. As the sales slowly started to increase, that's when we started to focus on developing a website, mainly to get away from the restrictions that eBay puts on sellers, meaning that, a lot of the times customers can be very demanding and eBay forces your hand in certain situations. And of course, the marketplace fee that we have to continue to pay them every month. We figured with our own website, we have more control. And of course, we can control our own expenses as well.
Mm-hmm. Why did you choose this niche?
We chose this niche because this is what we were currently in when we started, or before we started the online business.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we were a brick and mortar location in Houston.
So in selling the online business, you are splitting the physical business that you already had and then the online business and then selling the online business. Is that correct?
That is correct. We did prefer to sell everything in one package, but we know there are limitations of what buyers are looking for. We are prepared, again, to not only sell the online portion of the business. If we do that, most likely we would just liquidate what's currently at our brick and mortar location and liquidate and get out.
So just on a hypothetical here, if someone looks at the online business and thinks, hey, maybe I can make something out of the brick and mortar store, would you be open to selling the physical store as well?
Absolutely. That would not be a problem.
So what's the plan for after the sale? Do you guys have any ideas for the money? Are you guys going to be in the same market? Are you starting another business?
We will not be starting another business, nor will we be in the same market. We're looking at semi-retirement. Mm-hmm. We've made our money in the business. Again, we've been doing actually in the niche since 2004. We're just burned out and ready to spend more time with our children.
Makes sense. There's nothing wrong with that. So the business was built in September of 2011. What was the trajectory of the online business for the first few weeks or months?
It started out fairly slow. Again, we took it very cautiously. We didn't know what to expect. I would say roughly 60 days into the startup, we did see a pretty good increase in sales. And of course, the correlation, just using common sense, especially being in business, the more products you started to list, the more sales you would receive. And again, majority of the business at that time was going through eBay. More products we continued to list, more sales we would receive. And it just kept climbing and climbing. I think it was roughly after 90 days is when we started to really focus on trying to build our own website. And that's when we launched that particular website.
So you mentioned that you sell on eBay in addition to your own website. Are your products available on any other retailers like Amazon or Walmart or Target?
We just recently started listing on Walmart, which our results are very good. It's very promising. We've only listed the available SKUs that we have, 270 total. And the sales have already exceeded some of our eBay accounts, which has more than 1,500 products listed. So it's very promising. And again, we did that cautiously because of our past experience of dealing, selling online. But again, what we've tested so far has been really good and profits are there.
So you mentioned Walmart. Do you guys have any history with Amazon?
We do. We initially started on Amazon after our eBay sales started to really go and kind of started to stabilize. Once we noticed the stabilization, especially with that and our website, we wanted to expand our business. So naturally, we would look at Amazon. We did started listing some of our products. And again, this was back when, like, for example, right now, it's very difficult to get into the niche that we're in with Amazon. They're very restrictive. I don't know why, but after about, I would say a little over 30 days of sales, Amazon suspended our account. They held everything. They held our money. We contacted them. We tried to go through appeals. We couldn't get any response back from them to exactly why the account was suspended or banned. We did have to wait quite a bit to initially get the rest of our money. But ever since that experience, just doing research in cases similar to us, other retailers that have been similar cases to us, we noticed that there's quite a bit of problem out there. So we did not pursue to open another account.
So to this day, you still have yet to hear why your account was banned.
We did ask them an email, I would say roughly almost 6 months ago. I do remember sending them an email just out of the blue, asking them to reinstate our seller account. They replied they would not, and again, with no explanation at all. They just simply said, I don't know the exact verbiage, but we did receive that message, and they said they would not reinstate the seller account.
So outside of the Amazon stuff, is there anything else that happened in growing this business online that you learned that you would not want to do again, that you would not apply to future sites or anything?
The only major mistake that we did make, and you can see in the financials, that we did take a loss on a particular month because when we started with Google, and we're fairly new with Google, we don't have a lot of history with them. And this is prior to understanding their new platforms that they have out, that when we started our investments or selling on Google, we started to bleed quite a bit. We left it open, unmanaged. We did get quite a bit of sales, but at the same time, our ad accounts was just drying everything up. It was taking everything from the credit card account. And so that was a big learning curve, an expensive learning curve that we had to go through. But we learned our lesson. We figured it out. It was just some common sense mistake we should have known not to make, but we didn't. Moving forward after that, we got everything under control and everything's been stabilized and everything's running very smoothly now.
How long ago did you say that month of loss was?
I believe it was last year, February or March.
Oh, so a while ago.
Yes, we did run into a little snag with that Google account.
Okay, so what have you done that did work with running the business?
We did hire a third-party management company to manage the Google AdWords account, and specifically on a certain Google platform that we're currently using. It's automated, which makes it a lot easier to manage, meaning that they receive a feed. The feed updates every night with Google, and the new platform and this third-party company that we're currently using oversees everything, meaning that we get a full reports real time to make sure that we're not losing too much money and these ads are not going out of control. And that's helped out a lot.
So how have you guys been found online? You said that you're fairly new to Google. So was it all organic? Was it referral? Did you utilize social media?
We did try to utilize social media, which is, again, with someone who doesn't have a lot of experience, it's very time consuming. I know there are other businesses out there similar to us that are doing it successfully. We just haven't had the time to really focus on it. But with Google, I think we've been with Google for over 2 years now. And again, most of our traffic does come from the Google ads, but we know we didn't spend probably at the most $600 in SEO because we've heard so many horror stories about SEO companies that are essentially stealing money. You can't really measure, or there's no really way to measure SEO. So we never spent a lot of time doing it. And we know we can do it ourselves. But again, with 2 children, with us running this business full time, my wife and I, we don't have a lot of time to put into that. And that's where a new owner, someone who's maybe younger, energetic, and knows more about that can really benefit from it. So currently what we have right now is, I wouldn't say limited, but it's in its infancy stage. It's at its baseline, meaning that there's a lot of potential growth because of the Amazon, because of the SEO that could be applied to the website. Even the second website as well, too.
Mm-hmm. Would you recommend a new buyer make a new Amazon account?
Yes, by all means.
Mm-hmm.
I do know one of the distributors that we deal with, or actually it's a wholesaler, they do have a family member that also sells in the same niche that we do. They sell on Amazon and they're doing very well. I do know other competitors who also sell on Amazon that themselves are doing fairly well. So definitely, if Amazon can be reopened again, maybe not under this particular account, but a new account could be established. But also Amazon, I'm sure they're pretty fair that if a new owner did come in, they would reconsider opening this current account or the account that was banned. But there are several options available for the new owner to get back on Amazon.
Yeah. How stable are the earnings that you've made from the online business? I know we went through the 12-month average, but before that?
Before that, there were a lot of swings because, again, we don't have a lot of experience in this niche, in this industry, selling online. So a lot of it was trial and error. Let's try this. Oh, it didn't work out. Let's try this. We've since backed away from that type of mentality, and we started just focusing on what we have and that's been working, which is essentially leaving it alone. All we're doing right now is just maintaining what we currently have. There is the potential, again, and again, I've seen this firsthand. Once we start adding more SKUs to the website, to the eBay accounts, sales, they do grow. But again, it does create more work, meaning that someone who has more time that can put into it, they would have to answer more messages, deal with more packages as well. And that's something we weren't really prepared to do because of the past trial and errors that we had to go through. But the potential, again, is there with adding new products. Essentially the website and eBay and the Walmart account would continue to grow.
So you have approximately 2,000 SKUs, correct?
We have available listed on our website roughly 2,000 SKUs. On eBay, we have about 1,500 SKUs that we sell on eBay. There's a mismatch. The reason why is on eBay with the new seller restrictions that they put on sellers, meaning the new metrics, it's very difficult to keep your top-rated seller status, which gives you the afforded discounts. We've been maintaining our top-rated seller status for quite a while with eBay, and we had to learn that again, because when they instituted these new policies, based on the metrics, how the seller performs, that's going to ultimately determine whether you're going to continue to keep your top-rated seller status or you're going to lose it. Mm-hmm. And obviously, you get a lot of benefits when you're a top-rated seller. So that's why we only list 1,500 of the SKUs that we know that are always available in stock or highly available in stock. That way, we don't miss out or end up hurting ourselves with bad metrics. For example, late shipments, damaged products. Believe it or not, there are products that if you don't ship and pack properly, it will get damaged during shipment. That kind of explains, the discrepancy of the amount of products we have listed on our website and the amount of products we have listed on eBay.
Yeah, that explains it. You were talking about fulfilling the orders and making sure that everything is packed correctly. How do you fulfill the orders? What's your process?
The first thing we do, again, is in the morning, we check the orders. When we check the orders, we also have to go through our fraud protection service. After that, we basically whittle down to what we actually have to pack and ship for that day. What we do is if the product is available in our store, we'll go and pick it, which is very minimal because, again, a lot of the products we sell in our store, we do not sell online. And that's because mainly by choice. And it sounds kind of strange, but a lot of products that we have in our store don't necessarily translate to sales online. But luckily, the distributors that we deal with have a wide range of products. The niche that we're in our physical store caters to a certain group of customers. The ones we sell online obviously caters to a broader group of customers. So, for example, we'll pull the list in the morning. Let's say, for example, 100 packages that need to go out for that day. I would then take that list and actually go to the distributors and pick up the merchandise that's needed. And that may require me to stop by one or possibly two of the distributors to pick up the products, bring it back to our store. We then inventory them in. After we inventory them in, of course, then the shipments are prepared, packed, and then obviously the couriers then come by and pick everything up and off they go.
So you and your wife are handling picking up the product from the distributor every day, packing it, and then shipping it yourselves. Do you believe that the distributor would be open to drop shipping?
We did discuss that with them. They said no, which is understandable because, again, we're mixing and matching so many different products. Mm-hmm. Now, if we're doing maybe a case-by-case quantity basis, they would consider that, but ultimately they actually didn't want anything to do with it.
Let's say that a prospective buyer for this site was looking at it and they really wanted to do it with drop shipping. They loved the idea, they loved the niche and everything, and they feel they can really grow it more with drop shipping. Is there a way to get that done? Is there a possibility for using a different distributor? Do you think that your distributor would eventually change their mind?
No, because they're too large. In that if they started drop shipping, they would probably, what I was explained by one of the executives is that if they started drop shipping, they would actually start hurting their business. Why? A lot of the brick and mortar stores, again, don't sell online. We're one of the very few of their customers that actually does. They don't want their customers to come into their facilities and see that they're packing and shipping and selling online because they feel that they're going to be in direct competition. So they're not interested in doing that at all because they don't, again, most of their business right now comes from brick and mortar locations, brick and mortar stores. They don't support or do, they actually, from what I've discussed with them, is that they're not interested in online sellers in this point of how they're doing business. But I did explain to them that's going to be the future, but they have their own ways of doing business.
And it takes a little bit for everything to shift from brick and mortar to online. So is this distributor is the product unique to this distributor? Would it be possible to use a different distributor?
Yes.
Yes, it would be?
Yes. This particular distributor, there's one of the distributors that we deal with. They do have locations all over the United States. I wouldn't say all over, but I think I put it in the initial documents. I can't name the exact major cities that they're in right now, but there are quite a few. Mm-hmm. But what we considered years ago was when we first started, especially with Amazon, was using the FBA program, the fulfillment. And that's something the distributors would be able to do. Meaning Amazon has a specific way that they require pallets to be palletized or merchandise to be palletized and to be accepted into their FBA facilities. These distributors are able to meet those criteria to be able to ship those pallets over to those facilities, if that's a way. Now, keep in mind, the seller doesn't need to have an Amazon account to actually have Amazon fulfill also. Mm-hmm. But that is another option. That was an option that we did explore. We didn't go that route because, believe it or not, we operate our business debt-free. We use no terms with any of our distributors. The only thing that we use is a credit card to pay for our shipping and one of the cash and carry distributors that we deal with, meaning that we go and pick up the merchandise, we pay right then with a credit card. And that credit card is paid in full weekly. Every week it's paid in full. So we literally can operate our business debt-free.
Very nice. So if you were to keep the business, what would you do to keep growing it?
The first thing we'd have to do would be list more products, which is going to take more time. We are limited to what our knowledge base is, what we can do online, on Amazon or on eBay, and obviously trying to get back on Amazon. The limitations are there. Also, the fire has kind of burned out. We've been doing this for so long in that we did reach quite a bit of peak. I think it was back in 2012 and 2013 where sales were growing quite a bit. It got to the point where we were kind of overwhelmed. But Again, I believe that we were overwhelmed because of not understanding how to properly manage the business. This would be something for someone who's more, again, more, I wouldn't say educated, but more understanding of how online business works.
More tech savvy.
Exactly. That's the point I was trying to make.
Okay.
Someone who's more tech savvy, has more time, can put in more efforts because, again, we're limited on our knowledge. Someone who has more knowledge obviously would be able to grow this quite a bit.
So to you, the biggest path to growth would be learning more about online and then taking advantage of that stuff like social media and the Google and everything.
In SEO, yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Now, I can already tell you one of our competitors that's already been in the market before us, they had the technology background. They currently do, and this is a rough estimate because we have salesmen that come to our locations and these salesmen travel all over the United States. There's one particular competitor in the Chicago area. He said they roughly do about $750,000 a month in sales, and all of it's online. They have a 20,000 square foot warehouse that they operate out of. They actually showed me some of the Google Analytics information that we were able to pull publicly, even their AdWords account, how much they spend. It is quite a bit. And again, they're full board, meaning they do social media, they do everything. And their business is very, very good. Mm-hmm. And of course, we had our sights set on doing that. But again, we have our limitations where another buyer who has more experience would actually be able to get to that point. Mm-hmm. There is a lot of potential.
Are there any big risks associated with this business?
Not that I know of.
Will there ever be a case where, let's say your distributor just one day decides to not fill an order? What would you do then?
There's another distributor that carries the same line of products.
Okay. So there would never be a case where your business would be impacted by the distributor. No. Okay.
And my understanding is the products that we sell, the niche that we're in, there are distributors in most major cities and not just one. Mm-hmm. So if you have issues with one distributor, there are other distributors that will gladly sell to you.
Awesome. Sean, can you describe exactly how much you and your wife are putting into the site weekly? How much work is being put into the business? I know you guys are looking to get out of it, so I'm just curious how much you guys are doing.
Right now, we're doing very minimal. Again, it's looking at the orders, what do we need to go pick up, bringing it back, inventorying it, and then packing and shipping. That's the full scope of this. And if you look at the sales, it's stabilized. They're pretty stable. There's no wild fluctuations anymore because we've been, again, keeping everything just steady. Mm-hmm. We're not listing new products, actually more of cleaning up things. So if we see something that's not correct, we'll go and readjust, meaning incorrect weight on a particular item, updating the image of a particular item because the packaging has changed. But literally, we've not listed any new products and the sales are very consistent. We have a hiccup in the month of March, and that hiccup came from PayPal limiting our account. Unbeknownst to us, we were selling a particular product that, again, it's approved by the FDA. It's allowed to be sold over the counter, but yet PayPal felt that this particular product was harmful to the people or harmful to everyday people. I don't know where they came up with this conclusion. But essentially, we woke up one morning, tried to log in our eBay account or our PayPal account, and noticed there was an account limitation in this message that your account has been permanently limited. So then it took about 30 days to fight PayPal regarding this limitation that they said they would not remove. And this was regarding a policy violation that, again, we did not have any idea what it was for. We were able to get an explanation. They did consistently deny, and we had to take it all the way to the Better Business Bureau and the Attorney General's office, which they sided with us. PayPal reversed everything that they did, personally called us and apologized, and reopened our accounts and removed all limitations. But they did specifically say they don't want us to sell this particular product. And again, it was only at the most 10 SKUs, 10 products, and removed all of them from our websites. And the sad part is, again, as I go to these distributors, they're asking me, because again, they know we're one of their largest online customers, if not the only largest online customer that they have, in that they're asking us what happened, meaning they've seen a slide off in these particular products and that nobody's buying them anymore. And I had to explain it to them. And as I explained it to them, they're telling me that they have other customers that PayPal went after as well. So every seller that was selling this particular product, even on eBay, they're going after, meaning that they're shutting their accounts down.
But that's no longer an issue for you guys. You guys fought
Yes,
it. All the limitations are gone, and you're no longer listing that item, correct?
correct. And
Mm.
that's where you see that little dip off in the month of March. After we got everything resolved, everything started to build back up. Not like it used to be, because we were on a pretty good trajectory in the month of January and February.
Was that product a big seller for you guys?
No,
No, it was really just the PayPal putting the limitation on your account. It wasn't losing that item that hurt
no,
you.
correct. What hurt us was not being able to accept PayPal and credit cards, because we did everything through PayPal.
Hmm.
I mean, everything. Even our regular non-PayPal transactions came through PayPal through their merchant services. We had all our eggs in one basket because it was easier for us to manage the money. But we had to break away from that model because of what happened with PayPal. But again, everything got resolved. They apologized. They sent us a formal letter. They reinstated everything, and we started normal operations again after that, and have no problems ever since.
I'm glad that you guys were able to get it resolved.
It's not easy, and there are other customers that are begging me to tell them how we did it because they can't get any answer from PayPal.
It's certainly not easy, and it's frustrating when this business is, your life right now, and you get this hold on your account when, to your knowledge, you didn't do anything.
We did absolutely nothing, and this is the same particular product we've been selling for years. That's what's shocking.
So it's not even something that was just added. It was something that you've had for a while that just randomly got
Yes,
flagged in March.
yes. And keep in mind, this product, you can walk into major retailers. You can walk into Walmart, Target, Walgreens. It's there. It's on the shelf. And even the FDA website says it can be sold over the counter.
That's really interesting. So moving on from that, although that is very interesting circumstance, and I'm really glad you guys got taken care of, are there any skills or requirements for someone to get into this niche if they're not familiar with it?
No,
No, the niche requires no background?
no background.
Okay. So, Sean, as we're wrapping up here, before we do, just some last minute questions. Would you and your wife commit to a non-compete?
Absolutely.
How much support are you willing to offer buyers?
We figured 30 days would be fair.
And would that 30 days include emails or Skype calls or all of the above?
Yes, not a problem.
Okay. So obviously the best case scenario is we get someone to come in with exactly what we're looking for. But if that doesn't happen, would you guys be open to, let's say someone proposes, okay, we do 70% up front, 30% when we close, or whatever it is, would you be open to that conversation?
Yes, we would be open to that conversation. Yes.
Okay. So just to give a quick recap here, the business was built in September 2011 with a monthly revenue of $75,469 and expenses of $67,968 for a net profit of $7,502 on a 12-month average. Included in the sale of the business are 2 domains, site content, an email list of approximately more than 74,000 subscribers, and social media accounts, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter. Sean, before I let you go here, what's your best 30-second pitch on why someone should purchase this business?
The potential for growth is there. We've seen it firsthand. The only thing that this particular business needs and what we're selling needs a committed buyer, a buyer who's willing to put in the work, willing to make their sacrifices, as well as have the knowledge to know how to build an online business. We were limited to what we could do, and look what we were able to build. I could just imagine with someone who has the ability, that has the knowledge, that has the background, that has the connection to really push the online, the potential is essentially limitless because I've seen it firsthand. I've seen other competitors in the same niche that are doing very, very well. Obviously, they have the background, they have the knowledge, they have the experience to do this. Again, we've created this particular entity with these domains that has been very consistent without us adding new products, without us pushing anything harder or being more aggressive. It's been very stable, which shows you the consistency of the business is there. Even without doing much, it's been very consistent. Again, the main thing is someone who has the knowledge, who has the background that could come in, infuse that energy, infuse that knowledge into what's currently there. This business can double, even possibly even do more than that.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sean. So if you're watching this on YouTube and want more info, the link will be below the video that will take you to this marketplace listing. And if you're watching this on the listing and want more information, become a depositor today. All you need to do is click the button, Make a Deposit, and you will be given everything you need to review this business. Thank you so much for coming on, Sean. I hope you have a great day.
No problem.